I never call myself a perfect person. I always say that I'm a work in progress. I have made mistakes. I continue to make mistakes. But I generally learn from them, and I generally try to help you learn from them. And in giving long, deep thought to my experiences in having relationships, one thing became apparent to me, and that is this. I've told many of you that I have a zero-tolerance policy on chick crap. The zero means zero nagging, zero complaining. I do not want to be critiqued, criticized. Don't want to be told what chores to do around the house. I don't want to be told what colors to wear, or to stop wearing my shades, or to stop watching sports, or to stop watching hockey, or to stop going to the Hollywood Bowl to see jazz every Wednesday all summer long, or whatever it is I like. I won't tolerate critiquing or criticism any longer. But part of that is based on the following fact, and that is that most of us, when we are younger, the younger we get started, the more true this is, we don't have game. We frequently get corralled into believing that every woman we meet who's halfway decent may be the best last hope we will ever have of getting laid. So we lay down for them. So we tolerate their stamping their feet and making demands and telling us they want more for Valentine's Day and they want more for their birthday and telling us that they want a June wedding and telling us they want a carat-and-a-half solitaire diamond ring and they want different kinds of cars and they want to wear certain kinds of clothing and have certain kinds of accessories. And they want to live on the same street where their parents live, and they want us to move there with them, and they want us to move to their parents' basement. We tolerate this stuff because we think when we are 19 or 21, we think the chicks we are with are the best we're ever going to do. And looking back on my life, I was the same way at that age. And the reason I was because nobody was there to show me the future. My dad was not rich and successful. My mom was a housewife. We didn't have any friends of the family who were successful in business. I mean, when I was 19, it appeared to me that, you get a job, you get the most beautiful woman you can who will have sex with you on a regular basis, and then that's pretty much as far as you're gonna go. I could not see being a multimillionaire when I was 19 as I tried to become successful. And then as time went on, I found out the real truth that women do not want to be there while you're working your way up the ladder. And the reason they don't want to be there while you're working your way up the ladder is because they are afraid of a real truth. And that is that when you become more financially successful, when you get better at your career, when you get promoted at your job, suddenly, your options open up. Suddenly, you can get younger, hotter, more compliant chicks who nag less than what you have now. And women know this more than we do. Women monitor our potential all the time. They monitor our education. They monitor our abilities. They monitor whether we are living up to our potential. You've heard women tell you that. You could be doing more. You could be doing better. You could work a little harder. But at the same time, they don't want you to become much more successful because if you do, you might leave them. For the way things work is this. You at 19, 20, and 21 cannot see the future. You cannot see what's available to you. You cannot see how successful you can become. You can't see it. And the result of not being able to see that is that you settle for whatever you get. The girl next door, the girl down the block, the girl your mom recommended to you, the arranged marriage, the first girl who talked to you, the first girl who smiled at you, the first girl who spread her legs for you. Because you can't see how valuable you're going to be in the future. Boys, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, look around you now. It's hard to see the future. But you have no idea how great the future will be if you put your nose to the grindstone and work a little harder. Make yourself more financially successful. Oh, yes, the girl next door will ignore you or tell you you're a loser or tell you you're a piece of crap. But that's, you know what? That's what the over-the-hill gang is for, the chicks in their 30s who haven't found anybody yet. When you're 19, you can't find a chick. That's what the MILFs are for. That's what the cougars are for. They keep you going until you are successful enough to get that crop of 19-year-olds that's coming in 5 years when you're successful. That is what you need to do as far as having a mindset. You need to think to yourself, I'm not that successful today, but I'm not done yet. I'm a work in progress. I am going to be more successful. But it came to my attention as I sat and gave it some real thought that I came to this through an evolution. I came to this point because I realized no woman can stamp her feet and get her way with me. I can always get another woman, and that is what drives women nuts. That is how they control all of us, with the idea that they're the last woman who's ever going to talk to us. And too many of us believe it. Over the years, ever since I left home at 16 years old, I've gone through a complete evolution, as many of you are experiencing now, having become listeners to this show. I'm just a few steps ahead of you, and then I've been reporting my progress to you, and some of you have followed me along the way. At one time, I allowed myself to be pushed and prodded and shoved by various women. My radio career was delayed a good 5 years by two particular relationships I was in, where I was so into getting laid regularly. I was getting it so good and so often. I actually considered just blowing my career off, or I considered delaying it. In fact, I did delay it. In some cases, I actually bought jackets and work shirts and ties and took day jobs. And I was willing to just have a job, because when I came home, I was going to get a different kind of job. You have no idea what's in store for you if you believe in yourself. Dump that bitch and plan for the future. That's what I did. The most important thing right now to do is to straighten out your financial house and get it in order. And when I say that, I mean when times are tough, what you must do first is make sure that your debt is zero. That's the number one thing you have to do. Pay down every debt that generates finance charges that you can't write off. So I'm not saying your mortgage. I'm saying every other, Visa, MasterCard, GE credit, GMAC, car loan. You can't write off any of that interest at all. Can't write it off unless you're some kind of a Schedule C business or something like that. So you need to pay that stuff off as soon as you can. That means not be putting the money into investments, not be putting money into the stock market, not trying to bet on the recovery of the economy. First things first. Make sure you're not in debt. Reduce your debt load. Reduce your spending. The first way to reduce your spending is to go through every bill you have. Cable TV is a major component of this. If you're paying for channels you don't watch, channels you can do without, call the cable company and discontinue them today. You can cut your cable bill substantially. Okay, your cell phone. How many people out there pay to send photos or pay for text messaging or pay for web access they never use? When's the last time you called your cell phone company to find out what the lowest rates are? Do you know the cell phone company, I found this with my own cell phone. They do not call you when they reduce rates. Even if they've reduced rates, they'll continue charging you the old higher rate until you call and ask. You have to make a habit every 3 months of calling your cell phone company and making sure you get the lowest rates possible. Do you have 2 freezers in your house? Do you have bulbs that are from the Middle Ages? Do you have ways you waste electricity? Cut them down, cut them off, turn them off. Do you leave your printer on or your computer on when you're not using it? Turn them off. Uses a lot of electricity. Find all the ways you can cut your expenses. You should be doing now. And finally, very important for you to have a minimum of 6 months, but I'm saying now a minimum of 12 months of emergency expenses. Figure out what you spend per month, and that means everything from your mortgage or your rent to your credit card payments to your car payments, your utilities, your groceries, clothing, whatever it is, and it's more than you think. Figure out how much that is, multiply that by 12. That's what you should have in the bank. That's what you should have in the bank. It's that simple. Don't be a dope, okay? If you've got a good job but you're bored, don't quit it until you've got another good job where you're pretty much guaranteed to be staying there. If you have a good job and you just don't happen to like it and you don't like the boss, sack up. You're lucky to have a good, secure job at a time like this. I also recommend education. Community college, night school, night classes, adult education, whatever it takes. Get more training, more education. Separate yourself from the guys who work at Jiffy Lube. Seriously. No knock on Jiffy Lube. It's just that, obviously, if you think you've got more on the ball than the guy who puts oil in your car, you've got to start proving it.